Hello, I'm Ruth, and welcome back to This Is How We Roll. It's getting into that time of year where it's about time for summer vacation, and a lot of families are getting excited about planning family trips and family vacations. So this week's episode is called Vacation, and it's all about ways to ensure that your vacation is going to be accessible for you and your mobility equipment. I want to start off by looking at some procedures me and my family go through every time we're planning a vacation, whether it's one that's right around us or whether it's one in another country. So first of all, finding a place to stay. When we're finding a place to stay, we always make sure we look at lots of the pictures to see whether it looks like it's wheelchair accessible or not. We're always checking to make sure that you can get in and out of the front door, that we can get my wheelchair down the halls and in the room, that we can get my wheelchair in the bathroom, me, my wheelchair, and my assistant, more like. We always check to make sure it looks like I can easily get in and out of the bed. And if there's something that we're still not sure about from looking at the pictures, we call the hotel and ask them questions. These are just the things that I look at because I'm in a wheelchair, but before you go looking for a place to stay on your vacation, you should write out a list of the things that are most important to you. That way you know you will be able to use the place you choose to stay. Next, we're always looking at amenities and roadways. So we're looking at what kind of activities are offered and how many we think I'll be able to do. If it looks like there's lots of sidewalks and ramps, we're always wondering what the stores look like, whether they're wheelchair accessible. What about the restaurants? And also make sure when you're looking for a place to stay, that you're not just looking for wheelchair accessibility. If you don't have a wheelchair, make sure that the things you're looking for apply to your mobility equipment. So whether that's walker accessible, cane accessible, etc. Next, I want to go over some things that can help your vacation go easier if you're planning one near you. So first of all, send a scout. This may be an option that's available to you, but it may not be. By sending a scout, I mean sending someone to go before you to make sure that it will be mobility equipment friendly and that there'll be things you can do. Personally, I have a little sister who likes to go everywhere with her friends. Me and my mom have kind of trained her to look for wheelchair accessible amenities. That way we can go to some of the places she goes as well. Next comment, be willing to explore. So by be willing to explore, I mean be willing to go to a place and just kind of see what's around and see what you can do. Again, I'm going to go into a little bit of an anecdote here. So I remember one time a couple of years ago, my sister was like on vacation with her friends or something, and Mom was like, I don't exactly know what will happen, but I could get us a couple of nights at the beach and we'll just see what happens. I was super excited about it and was like, yeah, totally, I'd love to. When we got there, as it turned out, everything worked really well. There was a lot of really good wheelchair accessibility. We got to go on the beach. We didn't do anything fancy per se, like rent a pedalo, but we did have some good walks on the beach and some good dinners. We looked around the shops and it was just really fun overall. Next, I'm going to go over some things for if you're planning a vacation that is far away, possibly in another state or in another country. It's been the longest time since I've left the country. I'm now 20, and I think the last time I left the country, I was like 4. So I can't go too in-depthly into this subject, but I'm going to talk about some of the things I've discussed with my family. So a travel consultant. You can hire a person called a travel consultant, and their job is to help you plan your trip. So you tell them the things that you want and need, and they help you to make it possible. My family would make sure to express that one of our needs is wheelchair accessibility, and then the travel consultant would help put that trip together for us. Next I want to talk about a long flight. So I'm not gonna lie, this topic is a little awkward for me to talk about, and I don't really like thinking about it much. But the fact is, if you have difficulty walking or you can't walk, if you're planning on going on a vacation that requires you to take a long flight, you might want to consider wearing a Depend on the trip. I know personally this is something I would have to do. This is because airplane bathrooms are typically very small, so there's just no way to get me, my wheelchair, and my mother/assistant in there. Also, airplanes do kind of move a little, so if you have a difficulty walking, you may have the danger of falling or slipping in the bathroom. Wearing a Depend is something you may also want to consider doing if you're going on a long drive, like possibly across state lines. There are places to stop along the way, but I wouldn't bank on all of them being mobility equipment friendly. I just want to end with some final things you might want to keep in mind to ensure that your vacation is happy and successful. First of all, activities. If you have planned a vacation that is mobility equipment friendly, you will likely be able to do the majority of activities. However, keep in mind that there are likely to be a few activities in which you cannot do. Try not to feel left out or upset if other family members would like to try one of these activities. Keep in mind that it's everyone's vacation, and that your family is likely to be doing something you can do as well shortly. You can also find other ways to participate in activities that you cannot directly do. For example, if it's a sport, you might be able to cheer your family members on. Lastly, I just want to go over expectations. Of course, I want you to go into your vacation expecting to have a lot of fun and to have a great time. However, your vacation may end up looking a little bit different than you had originally imagined. For example, you may have thought that you would be able to do an activity that it turns out you cannot. But on the other hand, you may find that there are a couple of activities you can do that you thought you would not be able to do previously. Essentially, I'm trying to say, stay fluid, open-minded, and just be willing to see what's out there. Thank you for watching. Until next time, remember, we're all different, so just roll with it.